Hello YouTube, StarSpawn, and I'm here with my review of E-Day. I was fortunate enough to play the game early in July and August. Uh, so basically all of the time that it was live, I got to play. So I had quite a few hours on the multiplayer. I did some Horde, and I was also included in the campaign playthrough, which was 2 chapters of Act 2. I just decided to do a video like this to share my thoughts and not have any spoilers. I'm assuming if you want that, there's going to be a lot of channels that will be posting gameplay or posting the campaign. I would advise not watching them. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean there's just one little lore thing in there, and it was just kind of nice to see it and not have it spoiled. But anyway, it's not a big deal. I know some people care, some people don't. I'm kind of, you know what? It's not up to me really because there's enough people that don't want to get spoiled. So I'm just gonna go with the no spoiler. I have just like some things to talk about, and then I'm just gonna try to one take this video and then call it a day. Hopefully, it won't be too long. I guess I'll just start for people that haven't watched me before, have no idea who I am. I'm mainly a live streamer. I stream on Twitch 7 nights a week, and the majority of those are Gears of War games of some kind. I've been streaming since 2018, and that's 90+%, 95+% is a Gears of War game. Uh, I play a lot, and even before I streamed, I mostly played Gears of War. I played a little bit of Mass Effect for a little bit, but Gears of War has always been a part of my life since 2007. Um, I've been playing it that long, and I was just one of those guys that played one game. That's it. So I've had a lot of experience with it. I've played through all of the campaigns multiple times. I've played all of the Horde modes. I've played all the DLCs, and I've played thousands of hours of multiplayer. Um, my overall review of the game is it's a great game. E-Day is fantastic. I think there's really my criticisms that I'll talk about are really don't have to do with the game itself. It was more of I was having technical issues. Um, the game looks great. It feels different than another Gears game or any of the other Gears games. It feels a lot different. The shots are still in there though. They're still in there. They're just kind of in there differently. It has a different feel to the game. I think if you were judging the game in isolation, everyone would love it. I don't think there would be much criticism about it other than what I'll get to later. Um, the fact of the matter is, though, this is a game that is in a lineage of other Gears games. So I think a lot of the negative stuff coming out is um, being influenced by the past Gears games. And when you do that, there's a whole bunch of nostalgia that comes in. There's things that will make an individual uh, rate the game a little differently because it doesn't live up to their standards that they remember. And it's never going to really because a lot of these people were going through early parts of their lives, having pivotal moments in their lives, and the things that they were doing at the time seemed more consequential because of that. I'm much older. I was already an adult when I started playing Gears. Um, so I do have nostalgia. I do have all of that, but I don't look at the Gears with rose-colored glasses. I see it for what it is, and I don't have that extra baggage. So just stepping outside of the Gears community and just looking at E-Day as a game by itself, it's fantastic. I mean everything that you want is there. You got multiplayer, you got a fantastic horde mode, And the campaign that I played, it was good. It was paced well. The situations you're in, you can choose to either snipe or you can run in there with shotgun. There's different ways to approach at least the parts of the campaign that I was on. There's different ways to approach each engagement, which I did like. Um, so the pacing was really good. Uh, the responsiveness of the game was good. It worked for the most part, and I have nothing bad to say about the campaign that I played. It was fantastic. It was Gears all the way, reminiscent of some of the older Gears of War campaigns as far as just the interactions and the way that the enemies were coming in, just how they were responding. Just it was very familiar if you've played Gears of War. It was really good. There's no doubt that it's worth playing. I I, I can't imagine someone not playing the game or telling someone not to play the game. It's just ridiculous. They're just being completely salty, over dramatic, uh, possibly sniffing for views. I don't know, man, but the criticism that I've seen has been mostly, I believe, misdirected. Um, I'll just start with my main part, my main criticism was I was playing on Xbox and I never really got or I didn't get the 120 frames. I was never above 90, which, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that if computers can boost the frame rate to whatever, the least we could do is get it 120 steady on a Xbox. So I was disappointed for that. I was. Uh, I also had some crashing issues, but I believe that was on my end. My Xbox was bad, probably. I don't know. But when I look online, there's a lot of other people that were having crashing issues. I did see something about on PC. Sometimes if you store the game on your SSD instead of the hard drive, there was a problem there. I don't know. I mean, that's getting a little too nerdy for me. I just use a computer to make this stuff to stream and to send emails. I play on console. So, I don't know, but it's out there. There was issues with that kind of stuff. Um to get, after that, I would say my next criticism would be just there's some little things. I saw that there was strange animations. So when you're transitioning from standing to going down but not out, the in between part of that, there was like a very strange animation and it was slow. And there's a time while they're going through that where the character seems to have a protection or an invulnerability. And there were many situations where I would down someone and I would shoot him again as they're going down, wouldn't die. Shoot him again, still didn't die. And then, I shoot him a third time, finally die, and now I have to reload the gun, but the gun takes an hour to reload. So now I turn around and there's two of his teammates are there by then. So a combination of, like the slow reload plus having to use 5 rounds to kill a guy that was down. Or I downed him with 2 shots and I had to shoot him 3 times to finish him off. That has to be fixed. Uh, and I believe it had to do with the animations. Maybe the animation could be sped up or some frames could be taken out. There was a weird animations where when they pick up ammo, if you pick up ammo, it does a weird animation. If you pick up a gun, it does the same animation. So if you're already holding a Nasher and you pick up more Nasher ammo, it appears that you're picking up another gun, throwing it in the air and catching it. It's very strange. I also didn't like the animation of the pop shotting over cover. It was weird. It wasn't like it used to be. the it's more of a just popping up and down kind of a thing instead of a kind of a swinging of the gun. I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely a different style of animation for that shot. Which, it's at this point I'm getting a little bit, you know, doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? I mean, I get a little ridiculous. Beyond that, though, one of the main criticisms of Gears of War 5 was the lack of content. And I agreed, as somebody that was playing Gears of War 5 daily, to be on those same maps for years and years, and it's just a couple now, only it's okay, I'm being a little dramatic there, but it wasn't the same as previous Gears of War games. When you look at Gears of War 2 and 3, even 4 had way more maps. And Gears of War 5 launched with, I believe it's 10 maps. I don't know. I think it's 10. In E-Day, they're talking about launching with 6 maps, I believe. I will get to, in a different part, I'll talk about some of the leaks that have happened, but I actually know more about the maps, but the official thing is 6 maps. And we've seen 2 of them already. And I personally didn't really like Outpost. I think I'm not going to put that in the camp of I like this map. So 50% of the maps that we've seen already, it's kind of sus. And then if we only have 4 more to go, what are the odds that all 4 of those maps are going to be bangers? Like they can't, like already we're seeing a 50-50 situation. Hopefully it just ends up being one that's kind of a stinker, and then we get 4 good ones. But that's a lack of content. There's no getting around it. Besides that, I don't know. There's been some leaks concerning like multiplayer and stuff, and if you know where to look, you could see this stuff. If you know the right people and whatnot. But I seen that there's going to be a 7th map that's on the official list, but there's a lot of other information mentions of maps in there, and I believe the total, if you add them all up, is 14. There's a total of 14, and that's not including the Horde maps, which I believe they said there was 3 of those total. I don't know what the coalition said about it, but there's some leaks. I've seen 3. So there's 3 of those maybe. Those might be able to be a battle royale type situation. I have seen some leaks of 25 versus 25 and a 50 versus 50, I think, or 100 versus 100. I think it's 50 versus 50 running on regular multiplayer maps. So it is possible for it to run way more than even 12 people in Horde. So it's kind of baked in there. But will we see it? I don't know. I've seen a list of all the game modes that are in there, and I don't remember. I don't think there's free for all, and I don't know if there was 2v2 Nasher either. I don't think so. I definitely don't remember seeing free for all. And then I prefer to play Guardian. That was my favorite game mode. The Guardian rules, if they stick to them as the leak says, it's different. They changed it. I don't want to. Well, basically, what it appears to be is the leader can't mark other players or the leader through walls anymore. And what happens is you play all the clock out, and if you still haven't killed the leader by 2 minutes, I believe, both leaders light up. So both teams can see where both leaders are. And then you just go after each other at that point. I can see some possible strats there, some fun or whatnot. But again, I enjoyed the Gears 5 Guardian a lot. I did. So, we're looking at at launch 4 modes though that are confirmed. There's 4 modes confirmed, 6 maps confirmed. That's not a lot. That's really it's really not a lot. Um, and I that kind of I think that goes into we need some clarity on what the esports situation is going to be. I've heard some disturbing rumors that at launch there will not be private matches in the game. Now there's leaks around, there's this, there's that, everybody's hearing this and that. I'm just saying, man, if you look at how there's been no organizations of things, organizing of teams, or the things that it takes to have a pro league are not being done. Like this, the indicators aren't there. And when you pair that with their choice to not include these pro players in the campaign playthrough, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. If we do not get any esports and we do not get any private matches, then there's a considerable amount of content that people are used to watching and making that isn't going to be available. Um, the wager community, the scrim guys, uh, the guys that play the serious competitive side of Gears of War, even without a league, just the guys that do the tournaments and stuff. If they don't have access to a private match, then none of that can happen. And it would be nice if the coalition would just give us some clarity so these people can plan their lives. There's been plenty of times where I'm streaming and I have young people come in my stream, and I had told them, just keep grinding, man. Esports will be back, and then you'll get your shot. You're young now, but just keep going. And I did that for years. I used to like to go to Gears of War events. Uh, it's fun to be around people that love the game, where everybody in the room is on the same page. Everybody loves the game. And also being able to have the dream, to keep the dream alive, thinking that I can work my way into being a professional Gears of War player. I can put a team together and get a team ticket, get a hotel room, and see if we can do it. See if we can fight to main stage. See if we can get on there. And, I'm an adult. I understand it's a dream. But having the dream is a big deal. It separates games. If it's really hard for me to understand why they wouldn't be focusing on this. Just for that, just to have that dream alive in your life, and to put those people that want to do video games professionally in a position where they have to choose to either go to a different game, or they can't be a competitive player anymore in the Gears of War scene. There's no more for them, so they either have to go to a different game or change their life. And I don't know, man. I think it just seems incredibly short-sighted, I guess, on Microsoft's end. I don't know. Maybe this is just maybe they'll come back in a year. Who knows what's going to happen? But it would be nice if the coalition just came out and said, "We'll look at it in a year, or we'll revisit this. We're not going to do it now, but we'll revisit it," or just give us something, right? Um, and again, what I said about the pros not getting the invite to the campaign, it was surprising to me. Um, so what I wanted to get into now is a lot of the criticism I seen had to do with who actually got in to play the game early, and I mean, I don't know, I guess people are salty because they see certain people in or certain people out or whatever. I get it. I can tell you this: you shouldn't be mad at the coalition. How all of this worked, these people that the majority of the people that got in, they didn't get it from the coalition. There was a small group of people that were giving the permission to reach out to other content creators. So they gave it to a core group of content creators who then decided to give it out. It's not like the coalition contacted everyone. I was fortunate enough to get in because of Shadows, SAS Shadows. Please follow him on sub to him on YouTube, follow him on Twitch. I'm friends with Shadows. I've known him for years, and he got me in. I didn't talk to any coalition people. And then I know for sure about, because there's been a lot of people that are mad because they're like, "Oh, I didn't like this person, they didn't get in," or "What? How did this person hasn't made content and however many long they got in?" There was a lot of that, and I'll just tell you straight up, there were people that just wanted to, I guess, be the guy and have their ego stroked, so they reached out to some other content creators and got them in. Did they deserve to be there? I mean, no, they don't make content anymore, or they, well, whatever, it's not up to me, man. But it was other content creators. Don't blame the coalition. They just kind of rubber stamped anyone that fit a certain criteria, and then that's who got in. And then I saw a lot of criticism saying about this OnlyFans model that got in. People keep like, this OnlyFans model, bro. That OnlyFans model was a pro player on a pro team. Okay, she's not just a fucking OnlyFans model. That is so disrespectful. I'm not. I mean, if you know, you know. But goddamn, man, people are fucked up. I swear to God. If anyone deserved to be in, she deserved to be in. Like, she deserved to get an early play to get in. She was a former pro player. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that, but anyway, don't be mad at the coalition. I think that, when now to get to the campaign part, I don't understand how that went down. I just received an email saying I was going to be included, so I don't know. Everybody I know that got in just got an email as well. It wasn't the same as for the multiplayer, where I was approached from Shadows and then I had to send in my information. This was a completely independent thing that I had an email, so I just followed the instructions. Basically, I didn't realize that, like, you know some of the biggest streamers weren't going to get in it, or the biggest gear streamers, meaning the pro player side. They didn't get in. I thought, I don't know. I mean, again, I was surprised about that. Is that a is that a little message for them? Just letting them know that they're not really important anymore, or I don't know how to read that. Well, time will tell, I guess, but that's just the the reality of the situation. I guess as far as for me personally, content moving forward, I mean, I miss the game that I can't play it now. As when it's gone, I went through I went through a lot of stuff, transformation of being upset because it was so different, understanding the changes, why they did it. Um, I think it'll be fine. I mean, I'm still going to keep streaming. I'm going to play the game as soon as it comes out. The early, all that stuff. I'm just, I'm a Gears of War streamer. That's what I play. I play Gears of War, and whatever the newest one is, that's the one I play. I'm going to play it, and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully Coalition has a plan, and we're going to have all kinds of fun things going on. They're going to be tweeting stuff out again. We're going to be getting content, and they're going to fill the gap that's going to be left by having no esports. Because for Gears of War 4 and 5, esports was a large section of the amount of content that would come out. And without that there, I don't know what's going to replace that. For me, it'll be fine. I just do my own content anyway. I'm a different kind of streamer, but for these guys that just do, comp stuff, it's going to be a big adjustment. But yeah, that's my final thoughts on it. The game is 100% worth playing. Don't let anyone talk you out of playing it, and just be open minded to the changes. Once you get used to it, it's fine. Um, anyway, thanks for watching, and please come check me out on Twitch. I stream every night. It just depends. You know, it's usually pretty late for sure, but I try to be on early too. But you can always catch me at like 9, 10 o'clock um, Central Time, PM Central Time, until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., stuff like that. And then I do try to squeeze in days. So, put those notifications on. And then I'm going to try to keep putting some YouTube videos up. I'm, getting better, but I'm a streamer trying to do YouTube, where a lot of these guys are YouTubers who stream. So it's different. But I'm just going to keep plugging ahead. But thanks everybody for watching. And I'll see you out there. Have a good one.